Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Up Your Experience podcast. It is episode 37, and today we're going to talk about SWC Qualifiers. Doing a special episode since I was out of town, but I did get to listen to the games, and with me today I have Liani, who actually got to watch the games.
Hello, this
Liani,
is me. I am a gamer also who plays video games. You might have
are
known me
you
already
sure?
from some episodes in this podcast.
Because based off of tonight's cues, I don't know if either of us are gamers, but we're not doing games of the week today.
I don't know, you tell me, bro. I at least warned him.
Yo. Shout out to Arena Gilgamesh 2021 for saying y'all don't draft properly, okay? That's a quote that will stick with me for the rest of my life.
Frankly, that's just a draft issue.
Yeah. They didn't like that we picked some mages and they were Gilgamesh, I guess. But that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about some SWC qualifiers. I think the first thing we're going to talk about is Group A. And Group A started off with the NA and EU, SCC. It's SCC in both regions, right? Or is it SOC in
I think it's
EU?
SEC.
SCC in both. All right. And it was Winter Dogs versus Captain Odie Fan Club. Captain Odie was their Captain Odie Fan Club was on EU ping. It was a pretty much easy 3-0 for Winter Dogs. I don't think there was anything too crazy there in the matchup besides Benny Q being Benny Q and picking, Benny Q gods.
Yeah, Benny Q chose Chunk in mid, which is kinda funny to me, because Homeboy, one of my good friends, Teach, he is one of a prodigy mid laner who also enjoys playing Chuck mid.
Yo.
So that's when you told me that he was playing, that there was a Chuck mid. I'm like, wait, are you talking about Teach?
Dude, he played a Anubis game too.
He
That's
also
kind of
played
sick.
Anubis, and he went Sacrificial Shroud.
He also played ESET, which we haven't been seeing in mid. We've been seeing it in support or the Sino jungle route.
Yeah, which is interesting considering that the enemy team went Sobek, Bacchus, Discordia, Clean, and Hachiman. No displacements whatsoever, so I think this ESET's good there, but surprised that the other team didn't win any CC chain,
Yeah,
a beats team, like a burner or something.
I just think I don't know. I think the EU ping definitely played a role here, and it definitely hurt them. But overall, Winter Dogs came out and they looked good. That's what it comes down to.
Yeah, like you can even, yeah, obviously, because you can even see when it comes to the games, it was either the first game, it was what's the other team's name? Because I can't really see it.
Captain Odie Fan Club.
Okay, I need to put this on another tab. Give me like 1 second real quick because I can check it.
You're good.
Alright, so placements A, Winter Dogs, OD Fan Club. Okay, so you can see OD Fan Club did not got a single kill in the first game. And then you go to the second game, Winter Dogs got 28. And OD Fan Club only got 9 kills.
Yeah,
It
was a rough time for them.
Only game 3 was the only one where it looked like it was even, because they both had 12 kills in OD Fans, 14 in Winter Dogs, and it was just a 100 gold disparity.
Yeah.
Whereas any other game, like game 1 was like more than 10k, and the second game was around 20,000 gold differential. So it was kind of insane to say the least. Like basically team death. Unless OD Fan Club was asleep the entire time, which I assume it is because Benny Q was just playing very niche picks that they didn't expect it, and plus it didn't really acted on characters that they can chain, get a CC on those characters. Kind of weird to me, but I mean, to each their own, right? And then next game, which was match 2 in that group, which was Leviathans versus Winter Dogs. Leviathans Again, another trio. This was an SPL
I
team.
will say, I thought Winter Dogs looked decent here. They did get beat, but I thought they actually like sort of looked okay against an SPL team.
Considering how they did in the rest of the bracket, like obviously SPL level team very like we're talking about what is the second seed, I'll say, like contested for top 3 best teams in SPL Leviathans.
Yeah, I mean Benny Q did try to pull out the Tsukiyomi game 1, and I just don't I don't know. I don't think that's something you can pull off against
An SPL level team.
An SPL level team. I just don't think it works out
Especially
well
against Shinto.
Yeah,
Because
Shinto is a madman.
Shinto,
he farms so good.
Shinto legit is like, guys, listen to me. What if you guys just give me all the farm, and then we win?
Yeah.
Which is what happens.
What if we just let me play the game more than the other mid laner?
Yeah. Speedrun any percent.
We take some easy dubs. So that was another one that was nothing too crazy there. He did try to play Kronos game 3, which is an interesting pick in mid.
Yeah.
Other than that, Yarkor's a madman and played Kamazot's game 1, and he went 9-0-6.
Yeah, looking at yeah.
I was gonna say, and you've been playing a lot of ranked. Has Kamazot's been showing up a bunch in solo for you?
I've been playing ranked since this Friday. That happened. I think this Friday wasn't the playoffs, right? Like it was the last one.
Yeah, no, it was this past weekend.
This past weekend? Oh yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's been a lot of Kamazots in this in ranked recently, in solo lane as well as jungle, but mostly in solo lane. Like when I played ranked, I think I went against 5 Kamazot solos. And
I saw
one
it yesterday in my games.
And they will all go the same build on Kamazots, which was the same one that John Core went, which is Axe, Blackthorn, Trance, Casual, and then something else. Which is because the last 2 items is spectral. It's spectral, but
yeah, spectral because of crit.
Yeah, because of crit. But those two last item slots are the situational.
Right.
And then
I don't know. I played it today in jungle and it felt really good. Like the god feels really strong right now. That's just one god that I think before placement rounds didn't look great leading up to placements or to qualifiers. Because in the playoffs it didn't do well.
I'm gonna be honest, and when I was playing back in the competitive team I'm in, like Hyper Noobs, Kamazos used to be one of the most contested picks, besides Gilgamesh. The last few games, Kamazos was the most contested one to be seen because it was actually so good. It had the damage, you had the CCMU, you had the jump, you had sustain. So
yeah, he's just good.
You can just go in. Overall. It was just a hit and run character.
I was just surprised he really came on this weekend. We're in
solo.
Playoffs, on solo specifically, but even with in playoffs, he just didn't perform well. So it was just very interesting. And shout out to Rongyu for going 0-0-14, like the perfect support stat line in game 1 of this set. That was sick.
Oh, the Van Jamoja. What did he went? He went.
He played Terra.
Oh yeah.
And by the way, this is a public service announcement. If you're playing support, you should be buying Benevolence and none of the other start items. And that's all I have to say about it.
I've been going Sentinel's Gift. Thank you.
I know you're lying to me.
No, I do not lie. I have been going Sentinels.
You literally DM me yesterday.
I know.
Or today,
I know that. See, the thing is, I go Benevolence, but at the same time, I kind of like, because in support, at least that's me, right? That's how I feel in ranked. I can't really go Benevolence with the ADC and trust my AC to not die. You know what I mean? Like,
I get that. Yeah, Sentinels is still good, but I think if you're queued up with your duo lane partner, like Benevolence just feels good.
Like I'll go Sentinel's Meditation and then go like a Sobek or Fafnir, and see how that works. Normally it works out decently, and then it's like, all right, I'm out. But I did try Benevolence one time. It didn't feel nice because when you're losing, it just doesn't feel like you can't do anything. At least that's how it feels.
Do we have anything else about Atlantis, Leviathans, and Winter Dogs?
No, not really.
Okay, so the spicy set out of this bracket was the next game, which is the third match. It was Solar Scarabs versus Oni Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
I figured with Oni Warriors fully being on, like, as a team on LAN, they were going to look really good, and that I honestly thought that they were going to push through and hopefully make it to Worlds. Now, I knew that was a little bit of a long shot based off of how they played, but I thought with now being on LAN as a full team, they would play better. And they did the first two games. The first two games, they came out, and I don't want to say they rolled the Scarabs, but they definitely like put them down. Like game 1 was 23 minutes. Game 2 was 17 minutes and 44 seconds. Like they literally just stomped them. Cubo Fred was on Finra Jungle, went 13-2-3. Just absolutely popped off. And that was doing Eye of the Jungle, which I know a lot of pros have been iffy about its play right now, saying if, it's not as good as the other starter items. But Solar Scarabs just didn't even look to exist in these games. These game 1 and game 2 especially. Then game 3 happened. In game 3,
they got downloaded.
The Solar Scarabs were like, yo, we're going to play the way we want to play now. We're going to draft the way we want to draft. And they pop off. They pop off. They take the game 40 minutes. They do the long game. And they win. They beat the Oni Warriors. They beat the reverse sweep kings of Neilma and Cubo Fred.
Yeah.
And, I think the way they lost game 3 had to just put them in a mental disarray for the Warriors. I think they're like, oh my goodness, we just lost this drug out 40-minute game. And now what are we going to do? Like, we just got beat doing what we've been doing best.
I don't know if you know this, but it's in the entire set, 4 games out of 5 of them, Nika went Achilles on all of those games, which is kind of weird how, because even just on game 2, the Scarabs banned him, but they left audio open.
Yep.
So from what I'm seeing here, right, is that I think like these Solar Scarabs are very, they're quite more on the, you know what I mean? No, they're more.
Yeah,
they're more on the. They like to delay the game enough.
Yeah, they want to play the long game.
Yeah, they want to play the long game in order for them to actually win, because it seems like they don't know how to play the early to mid game. They like to play the late game, but like the late game. We're talking about close to 30 minutes plus.
Yeah,
because game 3, 40 minutes.
Over 30. If your games are going over 30 right now, those are long games this season, and this game was almost 40. And then
game
I think
2,
at that point,
game 4, is 27. Game 5 is 37. So
yeah. 2 really long games. I think really I think once they took that game 3, they're in the Oni Warriors' heads. Game 4, they get Baronic on the Tiamat, which has been a really good pick for him. They get the Camazotz for solo or troll. Again, we see Camazotz in solo. Pretty different build than what we saw in Yarkor.
No, it's kind of the same actually. He just went mental earlier.
He went oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, mental is just a new item.
He was going glad. Yeah. But I think they just looked good here, and I think once they secured game 4, I don't think Oni Warriors were gonna win game 5. I think they did what they could, but at that point, I think the Scarabs were on a roll. They figured out exactly what they wanted to do in picks and bans, and they rolled them.
Yeah, they downloaded the Oni Warriors. They also, probably the Oni Warriors were running out of gas, whereas the Soul Scarabs were still having like half tank of gas, and therefore that's how they won. They just have more mental fortitude than the Oni.
Yeah, I think the mentals is kind of shattered, and then Baronic again on Tiamat game 5, 5-0-4. just popping off.
Yeah.
And like that's a long game, 37 minutes. It's not like they just like steamrolled them, but I really think once they lost that game 3, it was just downhill from there. And this was one of a few game 5 sets we saw this weekend. But the next matches we saw Leviathans versus Scarabs, which I thought was going to be a pretty good match as far as the set goes. I figured Leviathans would win, but I was thinking Scarabs would take 1 or 2 games off them, and they did take 1. They did learn the hard way game 1 that you cannot give Yarkor
Audio.
freaking Camazotz.
Oh yeah.
They learned that in game 1, in game 3.
So they only banned the Camazons. Game 2, game 3, Jarkor got Camazons again. Game 4,
that's what I'm saying. Like game 1 and 3. Yeah, game 1 and 3, he played Camazotz, and at this point, okay, if you at this point he's like 19-0 and however many assists in the tournament at this point on Camazotz. That's insane. That's an insane stat line for a solo laner playing an assassin. Not only that, like
Jarkor.
Leviathans are just insane. I think they played way better here. I think Zap played way better in this set than he played against the Winter Dogs. I think Zap played pretty disrespectful during the Winter Dogs set. He just like purposely didn't have any respect for their duo lane and would just like walk up and take 1v1s and get ganked and died. I think he even put out a tweet that was like, oh, it was just like ranked getting ganked on cooldown or something like that. Like he had no respect during that game, and you could tell like during this set he was a lot more
serious.
Serious about what was going on. And his stat line wasn't anything crazy in any of the games, but it was he definitely played more conservative, I guess I should say, along with the series.
You also have to take into consideration that the picks that he was going, right? Like game 1 and 2, it was Freya on Sapman, right? You see, like it's Freya, Freya, and then game 3 he went also Freya. Game 4 they banned the Freya, the Solar Scarabs. The Leviathans banned Camazotz, by the way.
Finally.
No, the Leviathans banned.
No, I know. Finally, Camazotz gets banned.
Yeah,
yes,
by Leviathans.
I'm just saying. Finally, it's banned.
Yeah, and then the Sandman picked all around, but then the problem is that you are wasting bans on Camazotz or Freya, right? As the Solar Scarabs, you wholeheartedly know that if you need to understand that on the Leviathans, there's Jamoja and Ardio. Those two are probably the winning factors for the Leviathans, like easy. Like those have like 30% more win rate to the Leviathans if you give one of them either Jamoja or Ardio.
Jamoja's is good.
And
dude.
here's what happened, right?
Wrong use cracked.
And here's what happened. They left Ardio and Jamoja open. Guess what they picked first? They picked Jamoja, Oleron, and then the Scarabs picked Isalami Tiamat. Last pick Ardio.
Yep. So
kind of weird to me how they didn't ban the Ardio, but they banned Nemesis and Loki.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. Like, so these games again, I didn't really get to watch. I had to listen,
especially when.
But that was just weird in the picks and bans. Like, I'm not really.
Yeah, you can see even the bans here right now.
Point.
Like, and if you know what the Leviathans play, like Lee, if you think about them for a second, Sandman has to go Heimdall or like Charybdis. So like Sandman's the only ADC player on the only player on Leviathans that you can't just really ban, if that makes sense. Same for mid,
why
right?
Throw bans at him?
Yeah, why throw bans at Sandman or Shinto? The only 3 people you need to focus on Leviathans is probably just Jarkor, Rongyu, and Panitam. Panitam legit just plays Gilgamesh and he wins the game.
Yeah.
Same with Ardio and Jamoja. So
I was like, and with Panatom, if he's not picking the top phase, then go ahead ban him out. But Loki and
Nemesis,
I don't get
those are 2 picks that he normally doesn't go, to be honest.
But I will say this: I do think Scarabs looked okay.
Yeah,
they did get a win. I do think they look drastically better than they did during the season. I think they look even better than what they did during Phase 3 playoffs.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited to see how they look at Worlds, but we'll talk about that in a bit. I don't think it's going to change because I believe their first matchups against Leviathans, but we'll get to that when we get
I
there.
will say this though. The Leviathans discovered a new meta that people didn't notice. Oh, well, they did call the Leviathans out on this new meta like comp, which is Gilgamesh all around.
Yeah.
You do all around ult,
disgusting.
and you then Gilgamesh ult. There's Lee, you just forced to use beats, or you just die because you cannot move at all.
And you might die even with beats.
Yeah, you might die. Yeah.
Because it's just bad. It's rough.
And then you also have Jamoya ult. So
yeah. Like, so you need a Phantom. It's
you need a Phantom, you need a beats, you need a CC immune null. So
and you need a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
So like
you need to play Monopoly.
Yeah, and you need an Aphrodite ult. For your whole team.
The next game was third place, right? Which is Winter Dogs versus Oni Warriors.
So I'm not gonna lie, I thought after the way things went down with Oni Warriors getting reverse swept, I thought there was a very good chance that Winter Dogs took this set.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't, but I was like, man, the mental has to be shattered. And one of two things is going to happen here. Like, Winter Dogs are going to come out, and it's going to go like 5 games, and they're going to win. Or Oni Warriors 3-0 them. Neither of those things happened. I don't think this set was a confidence builder for Oni Warriors, because it was a 3-1.
It was also against an SEC team, so like when you're an SPL level team and you're going against, as bad as it sounds, you're going against a team that everyone's making a meme of. It's that man, right? And so like,
but not only that, I will say like it's really hard for the SEC teams to get scrims against SPL teams.
Oh yeah, 100%, dude.
Because if you think about it, why would you? Why would you take a scrim against a
lower
SEC
level team
and give them the opportunity to beat you? Because that's what you're teaching them, right? Like, and then that causes up a whole other situation of like, why isn't there relegations in the league anymore?
Yeah.
And things like that. So like, I get it, but it does suck for them. Like, I was really kind of hopeful. But again, we saw like Heimdall mid in game 1.
I'm just gonna say this, and then this one and if you notice this on all 4 games, all 4 games Camisas got banned, so that kind of just makes more of a like wake up call of this is Camisas power. Jarcore legit just said, "Here's Camisas, have fun," and it was like, we don't want to have fun with the Camisas, so. Jarcore, I feel like just from watching Group A, we don't know about Group B yet. We're gonna watch we'll probably see it in a few. But just from looking at Group A alone, we can kind of just assume that Camisas, because of Jarcore, Camisas became meta. Because of
I think Haddox played him and popped off too.
Did he? I mean, we can just we'll check that.
Find out
we'll find out in a second.
Yeah. But I think there was someone in Group B that played him in solo and popped off. Might have been fine. Okay, we'll find out in a minute.
Yeah.
But I would like to say here too, the other thing that we saw come up this past weekend was Freya. Like Freya has become
main ADC is specific, to be honest, too.
Yeah. But a lot of Freya.
Oh yeah.
Like, I don't play Freya. I played her the other day. Started off pretty bad, and then like as soon as I hit like 12 minutes, it was done. Like, I just started killing everybody. She's just really strong right now.
Did they buff Freya lately, or I don't think so, right?
No.
They did. So it's just like passive.
It's like Scylla from last year.
Yeah.
It's like Scylla from last year, where like she wasn't played at all, and then all of a sudden she's played all the time.
Yeah.
Which is what we're seeing with Camazotz too. I don't think there was really any other picks that we saw that were out of the ordinary, at least from this group. I mean, we saw a good bit of Ganesh this past weekend.
But then it's Commando.
But like he did get buffed.
We did saw Kleena though, like not getting banned.
Yeah.
So
also not performing great either.
Not performing great. I would say like it just depends a lot, because I think I did saw one or two games where the Leviathans or like some team went clean and like she did decent.
Yeah, she did well in some games, but overall, like, wasn't as
Yeah.
impressive as what she was made out to be. But with this set, I mean, all games were over 30 minutes. One of them was almost the one game Winter Dogs won was almost 40 minutes.
Oh yeah.
Um, and the goldie in that one was massive. It was like 13K.
Yeah.
And then game 4, Oni Warriors come out and just stomp Winter Dogs in 20 minutes. So again, I don't think this was a confidence builder. I think
This was a breather.
Game 4 for Oni Warriors should have been built some confidence. They didn't die.
Yeah.
They went 12-0 as a team. Like that's insane. But the rest of those games don't make you feel good when you're going your next game to try to get to Worlds
is against
an SPL team, which happens to be again
the Solar
Scarabs, who just reverse swept you. And they go into this set, and Solar Scarabs came out to play, man.
Yeah.
They win game 1. And again, like I said before, they kind of figured out how they wanted to play. They wanted Stewart on this Freya, when he goes 5-0 and 6 on. They want Scream on this Humbat. Scream played Neja this weekend too, and it looked good. Scream is absolutely dictating some bans towards him that are very unorthodox picks. I think Bastet will be available at Worlds. That's a scary time. Because Scream is a known Bastet player, and I think Bastet has to get banned every game against Scream. I think it might have to be banned. I don't know.
We're gonna have to see that though. One.
Yeah, I think Leviathans would let it go for a game to see how it goes, and then ban.
Or we don't even know. Maybe we're not even gonna see it on Scream. We're gonna see it on someone else.
Yeah. Also, we saw the rise of Hunbats this weekend too.
The monkey.
Which I tried to play and then I did terrible. So not for me, but it looked real good in SPL.
I'm gonna be honest. Hunbats has always been good, regardless. Like even with the changes or like the nerfs, he's really been a beats burner. He's always been a good pick in jungle because you can initiate, you can just blink, jump. Like you have the jump, you have the damage, you have the fear, which is literally just like a constant fear damage. And from there, people cannot do anything. So if you're going against a wall and then you're also in the AoE of Fear No Evil, you essentially are gonna die. Unless no one's paying attention to you.
Yeah.
AKA, you're a support. But like, Hunbats for me has always, like, whenever I play against the Hunbats, like, I never feel bad about having a Hunbats on my team. It just doesn't feel bad playing against it. It also doesn't feel bad playing with it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just how I see Hunbats. So I think that's all of them, right?
It is, but I want to ask you about Stewart's build in Game 3.
Stewart.
Keep in mind, Game 3 went 52 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, I wouldn't be playing that at all. Like, no.
Yeah, a Musenkob with Mantle, Failnaught, Aussie, Windemon, Exekins.
So here's what I think, right? I feel like it was a Bluestone Trans, or it was a Crusher or something. It had to be.
I think it was Crusher. It had to be
Crusher. To be Crusher. And then he sold both of those because Bluestone sucks.
Yeah.
And then he went, and then went Failnaught for Crusher for the cooldown.
It's so strange. Also, I want your opinions, because we did see it this weekend. We saw some of the starter item into Shuriken, and by Shuriken I mean Shadow Steel Shuriken.
Yeah.
I still think it's bad. I think if you're into a healing comp, sure, but I still think it's bad.
I think it's.
I want your thoughts.
So it's very niche, I'll say it for the least. In the sense of you can play it, and I haven't tried it personally because I've been playing more so mage ADCs as of late. I preferably wouldn't like to go that route. I just like the normal Crusher, Alcy stuff, as we see here, because in Game 3 we don't see that In game 4, we
Right.
also don't see that. In game 3, in game 2, we also don't see that on ADCs. In game 1, we never, like, this entire set, this one we were talking about, which is the Soros Girls vs. Onis, round 2, for LCQ, none of them went Shadow Steel. So I think my thought process is, if you're going Shadow Steel, I think it's because you you know that the character is gonna go super sustainable, and therefore you go Shadow
Yeah.
Steel for the anti-sustain, because then you're gonna be able to go Aussie.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely because of healing on the
Yeah,
enemy
but
team,
then the problem,
or because of the way,
yeah,
like if you're against a Kurnanos, I think it
one
feels
of the
fine.
problem with that though is, they can just simply just go Spectral.
Yep.
So like
Right off the
right
bat.
off the bat they can rush Spectral, which is weird because if you see game 1, Inbound went Spectral after 2 items besides starter, but neither of those 2 ADCs, which is Dardis on her and both on Izanami, right?
Mm-hmm.
Neither of them went any type of crit.
Right.
So kind of weird for me. Maybe it's because it offers good, or like it just closes that opportunity of like no, just no. Same for SOT. Both of them went Spectral.
I have something I want to bring up before we do Group B.
All right.
SWC Collection attire.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely sick. If y'all haven't seen it, you should go look at it. It's all black and gold. There's even a black and gold mouse pad with the SWC Hera skin on it. All of it's super, super beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Like whoever did the design idea for that, shout out to them.
I'm gonna be honest.
It's real good.
I feel like the SPL merge has been very good this season.
Oh yeah, it's been way better since Hi-Rez took that over.
Yeah.
And then the proceeds going towards the pro players, all that stuff, super good stuff. I'm gonna order mine tonight. Even though they still haven't sent me my playoffs mouse pad yet, and I contacted them about it, and they're like, it's in production, and I was like, okay. But I got all my other stuff, and it's super comfy, so I'm about it. I think Bats has the Valkyries onesie. I think he does.
Yo, shoutouts to Bans for
Yeah, shoutouts for Bats for spending like $100 on a onesie, dude.
no, on Valkyries to be honest.
Oh yeah, and on the Valkyries. If that was a Bolts onesie,
We're not
at
gonna
least
talk
I'd
about it
understand.
just yet.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, well, we're getting there. All right. Match 1.
Sleekness versus Elysium.
Elysium gets 3-0'd. EU ping. None of the games are super competitive.
I mean, it was also like EU. It was just EU versus EU, right? Because it was adapting Angry Tricks Tank.
Oh yeah, it was. Yeah.
No, Elysium
But
was
not-
the EU team. I'm sorry, and then Sleekness
Yeah,
was
Sleekness
the
is NA.
yeah. Sleekness was the AA, which had Quig, Nehu, Chronic, and Oath. Yeah.
You hit the oath cues this week, dude.
Oh yeah, I had one game where I had but I don't remember. It was Oath and someone else.
I
sent to
I have it
you.
in my DMs. I will go look real quick. Why? I don't think there's really much to talk about with this game. I think
It was just
again,
easy.
it was one of those.
It was
sets-
Oath and Scary D.
Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like they just got ping diffed, and it's really unfortunate.
Yeah.
We then see Jade Dragons versus Sleekness, which that went about how you thought it would. Jade Dragons won 2 of the games under 20 minutes, and one game
Yep.
got to last 26 minutes. But like overall, Jade Dragons did what they do best and just ran it down.
One thing I will say, which is what I noticed whenever you play against the Jade Dragons, they like to speedrun.
Yep.
They like to end the
And-
game as soon as they can. So if you give these guys any sort of snowball or any chance for them to get something out of it, they are gonna take it and they will run it down.
Dude, fine, okay. Went Camazot's game 3.
Yeah, as
7-0 and
expected.
7.
Expected.
Last item that he had was Malice, dude.
Yeah.
This man built Malice.
Game 1 he went Achilles. Game 2 he went Odin. Surprising, weird, but okay.
Panda Cat built the best god. Dancing Burrow. People, and this is it. People need to quit giving Sanford Soccer Mercury.
Yeah.
The dude's cracked.
He's
Merc
he's
is
been
insane.
cracked with Merc. Like there's really
I don't
no other
understand.
reason for him to not pick Mercury when he's able to just play it and run it down.
I have no idea why people are like, man, you know what? Nah, we'll let him have Merc for a game and see how it goes. Shout outs to the Bolts for letting that happen at some point, because they did. But like, quit giving that man Merc. I'm tired of it. Tired of him seeing on it. He's too good. You can't give it to him.
You can even see, to be honest, if you look at game 2 of that set, right? You can even see it where they like Slickness was trying to win because it lasted more than 20 minutes, but then because it was J Dragons, they probably were already snowballing hard. So
yeah, I mean when PBM's 4-0 and 9.
Yeah, we also have to take in mind that PBM is just PBM things. So like he has Sylvanas.
I think PBM played his best weekend of Smite this weekend.
He got 2 games on Umoja, and then the last pick he went Sylvanas.
Yeah,
so
he looked really good.
And keep in mind, people keep thinking that Sylvanas is a bad pick. So if you're good on Sylvanas, it just feels good having a good Sylvanas period.
Yeah, Inbound played it too and looked good on it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like if you know how to play, if you have those good pulls on Sylvanas or like good CC chains, then it feels super good playing Sylvanas. Especially with like how PBM Polar Bear Mike likes to play, where it's like more aggressive, more like I'm going in your face and I want to solo you.
Yep.
Then he's able to,
he wants to fight.
He wants to fight. And he has this
The whole team wants to fight, to be fair.
The third game, Olympus versus Valkyries.
Yeah. Another 3-0.
Another trio. One thing you guys need to understand is that the playoffs, the SWC placements, they, from what they're looking like, is that all of them are either trios or just 3-1s. It's very weird for us to see a 3-2. Yeah. Here we have Ducky on Camazos again. As we see, like we legit didn't. We've been winning this entire time.
Yeah, we also see Jake on ESET support.
Yeah, and so matches. Like I can see it real quick how it is. Like Camazos, as we see, like we literally are seeing placements with just Camazos all over the time. Same with like Osiris, we're also seeing Osiris. I don't know if we mentioned that we've been seeing Osiris now in this group B. We're now seeing Osiris being picked, probably because he's one of those counters to Camazos, because he has the slow, so like you have this free poke damage, and you can also just jump. You have the CC, which is like your third ability, the tether, which is just a get off of me gel card, also the passive. Just overall, I feel like it's a good pick against Camazos. Basically, that's how I've been seeing. It was very simple. Olympus, they had headaches. They had like the team was just they just stomped them. Like game 1, 21 minutes. Game 2, 23. Game 3, game 2, 23 minutes. Game 3 was like 27. But even then, like it was just a 10k gold difference. So like, and you can even see if you notice, game 3. They went triple meditation on the bolts.
Yep. And they had double meditation in duo lane, and they did that a couple times this week, and it was wild.
Yeah, that's kind of just showing how good meditation is, to be honest. And it is.
Yeah.
It is very good in solo too.
And I think Jake actually looked pretty good on ESET.
Oh yeah.
Surprisingly enough.
Isn't he the one who used to do ESET? Right?
Is he?
Yeah.
No, we saw it a lot in SCC. I don't know if he was the one that originated it.
I don't know if he was the one who originated, but it was one of those like populated it, potentialized the popularity of ESET.
Gotcha. I mean, he definitely looked good on it.
Yeah.
For sure.
That was game match. Yeah, that was game 3, Bulls versus Valkyries, and then we have game 4. This one.
No, there was no game 4.
No, match 3. Yeah, it's a 3.
Oh, you mean
set 4. Set 4. I'm stupid. Match 4. which was Jade Dragons versus Bolts. Now,
This was a good
this
set.
was a good set
This was a-
because I'm gonna say this as it is. I think we all know this. The Jade Dragons and the Bolts are contested. The four top teams are Titans, like without any order, right?
Camelot
There's no order.
Kings, Leviathans,
There's no order.
and-
No, I was gonna say it was Titans, Jade, Bolts, and Leviathans.
Yeah. That's what I meant. Like that's what I was saying. Like same thing.
Yeah. Camelot Kings. I'm surprised that they went past like placements. They just got like a.
I am too.
So.
We'll talk about
Yeah.
that in a bit though.
Um.
I will say, I listened to what Bear had to say about this first game. He said they kind of let some stuff through and they were just testing the waters for this game. And like I think they still did really well. Like they led the game in kills
Mhm.
and they lost at 34 minutes. And so it didn't allow Jade Dragons just to run it down.
Yeah. We also have to keep in mind that the Jade Dragons had a comp which was the Neef mid.
Yeah.
One
With Odin
Yeah.
Yamoja. And you guessed it,
Mercury.
Mercury. Band Mercury.
We also have to keep in
Okay,
mind
sorry.
one thing in mind. The placements kind of just proved to us that you can play the meta right now, which is play a safe mage ADC as either Sol, Olaran, or Freya, or Kronos. Mostly just Sol or
Yep.
Olaran or Freya, right? And then you play a hunter mid. Can be
Yep.
AMC, can be Neef, can be Uller,
Be Charybdis.
Chiron.
I think we saw some.
On,
we saw some
we
Charybdis
saw
too, right?
we saw on her.
We did.
I think we did saw Charybdis. I am unsure.
I think we saw Charybdis too.
Um,
Um,
but we did saw more AMC and the Neef.
Yeah.
Sometimes like Chiron, but Heroine this time went Neef with the one-shot blaster build, which is the mannequin's hidden blade, and then full just burst damage, like physical damage. Chronos, Troyan, not Chronos, Jotans, Troyans, Brawlers, Heartseeker, and Titus Bane. Basically just like, I'm gonna hit you with the ult, and you're just gonna take either 50% of your damage, or your HP, or you're just gonna die. Simple as that.
well, game 2. Guess what Final K got?
Final K God Camisot says, yep,
Camazotz. And guess what Sanford Soccer got?
Mercury.
Mercury. Guess who won the game?
G
Jade Dragons. And that's after this though is when people thought the reverse sweep was happening because the Bolts win the next game
Yeah.
with and they win it like handily.
Also,
With
just saying, just keep in mind.
Yep.
Look at the supports builds.
Yep.
They were going
Sentinel's
Sentinels.
been, I know. I was just memeing
I
earlier.
know.
It's still a good item. I was just memeing because like we've seen so much benevolence whenever I play Conquest lately. But the Bolts kind of slam this game.
Yeah.
Like they come out and they 11 kills to 2 kills. They win the game under 30 minutes. They look good. They go into game 4. Game 4, Bolts started off fast, if I remember correctly. Yeah, and then because I remember talking about or listening to this game, they started off fast, and then the Bolts started bringing it back, or not the Bolts,
The Jade.
Leviathan started bringing it back in.
Wasn't it the Jade? No, the Leviathans.
Oh my god, the dragons! Holy dude, my brain just like completely went. Yeah. So like you know what it is? The dragon. I'm looking at the dragon's emblem, and I think whenever I see the dragon,
It's
I
the
think
dragon.
Leviathans. That's
The
what-
dragon for Leviathans.
I know, but I just hate it. I hate that. I'm just scrolling down. I don't want to look at this anymore. But this game ends up going all the way, and it puts us into a game 5. We did see Barra on some Medusa and Oleron. He popped off on Oleron this last game or this game 4. He went 6-0.
Game 5. I don't know if you're going to talk about game 4 or game 5. I don't know.
I was talking about game 4.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Game 5 is when Mulan got through, and that was a bad time for the Bolts.
Oh yeah, but also Camisot's going through, and Haddox chose Camisot's.
Yep.
I
Didn't matter.
don't think Haddox works with Camisot's. I think he works with one of those bully warriors. So like Hercules, as we saw, like Achilles, Hercules. If you tune into his streams, you normally see him just go Hercules. You see him
Yeah,
go like this very hyper carry. I'm just in your face, just annoying
yeah,
warrior laners. So like Kamasa is kind of like annoying, but they gave Final K Mulan.
they
There's
did.
just
And
nothing else.
can we just say shout outs to Lasbra for building Lono's mask?
No way. Oh my
Like,
god.
yes, he did. Yes, he did. He had Lono's mask in game
He
5,
went
dude.
Fenrir too. That what? Is this like the second support? Alright, never mind. That's why they lost. Yeah, never mind.
I'm moving on now that I've seen
Yeah,
that.
I don't wanna.
Um,
Can I just? I don't wanna see that anymore. Alright. Anyways.
all right. So then it takes us to our third place match, which is Sleekness versus Valkyries. I have nothing to say about this set besides that it went 5 games, and the only game that I want to talk about is game 5. And that's not to belittle anything that the players did. Like Oath popped off game 1, game 2, Oath popped off again, and they win again, and then it's like, oh, what the heck's happening? Valks win game 3, and then Valks win game 4, and they're like, oh my god, are the Valks in a reverse sweep? And then we get to game 5. Game 5, super close, back and forth, back and forth. And then someone made a call to take Pyro instead of taking Fire Giant. And as soon as this happened, because the middle Phoenix is already down, Pyro goes off. They're like, oh, they're at Pyro. Let's keep them from backing. They do that, and then it was Dude Man Bro and Nehu run up mid. It's them versus Ice Ice. I think someone else got a back off. It doesn't matter who it was. They go on Titan. Ice Ice is there. Izanami is literally one auto from death. Ice Ice Aegis. Izanami autos. The auto flies through the Titan. It's coming back towards her as she dies, and they lose the game. That's how the Valkyries were eliminated. Was off that game 5 play, which is absolutely insane. I listened to it, and I had to, like, as soon as I got home or back to my parents' house because I was visiting them, I went and looked it up and watched it because I was like, actually, no, I didn't get to listen to the end. I got to hear the Pyro Giant call, and then something, I had to like quit listening. And then I saw Aggro talk about it on Twitter, and there was something like, if I could cuss on cast, I would have, or something like that. And I went and watched it, and I was like, no shot.
See, here's the thing,
What a way
right?
to
I
lose.
wasn't. Imagine if we were able to hear the comms of the player.
I would love to
That
hear the
would
comms.
be. I like when we could be able to hear the comms of of the team. I don't know if
Yeah.
you remember a while when Sanguine, now Leviathans, when they were like winning the fight and they were just like screaming, "Where are they? Where the fuck are they? Let's do fucking
Yeah.
pyro, Jarkar. Where the fuck are they? This comes to fire, to
Yeah.
fire." And he's like, "I'm here."
He's like standing next
Yeah,
to him.
it's like,
Yeah, dude, like I just can't. I don't have anything else to say about this
yeah,
set.
no.
What a like that's literally the Valkyrie season in a nutshell.
I do feel, yeah, I
Legitimately.
feel like the thing is, right? We have this is one of the lower seeds, like the one of the the bottom 3 teams.
Yeah.
That everyone thought, which was the bottom 3 were Oni, right? Oni, Balks, and
Valks,
Scarabs.
Scarabs.
And so,
Yeah, for sure.
and then Camelot Kings were like in between. So like it was like the mid to high level team. So it wasn't even considered bad. It was just like they were just playing against better teams. But like that's why, at least for me, when I saw like the Scarabs, because I always thought that the Scarabs and the Valkyries were like the bottom 2, and Oni was the same level as Camelot Kings. So
it turns out they
yeah, in
weren't.
terms of
That's
the,
what's
yeah,
wild to me.
that's why I'm like, whoa, because
Actually, I do want to say I feel real bad for Dardes on that one play with Disco where he got blown up before and he had Beats Aegis up.
yeah,
That was rough. Yeah, I really did. I thought the Warriors were on that level of Kings. I did. And it turns out they weren't.
maybe the Scarabs just kind of just actually understood what they were doing. And they actually know, like, they finally learned how to play Smite Battleground the Gods and actually played.
I think they just learned how to play as a team.
Yeah.
Like I think after
Af-
all the
After
little row
12
swaps and
months.
stuff. Well, like they had like multiple roster changes. They had someone that hadn't played in Pro League before.
Yeah.
And I think Stewart's like hugely improved since he's
Quick shout
joined.
out to Stuart when he was being interviewed, and then I think he said some stupid shit, right?
Oh God.
Or like he was either saying that he was going to smoke weed or something. I don't remember what he said, right? But basically that was the first and only time he was allowed to be interviewed.
Oh my God.
And you can tell the
Uh,
man was like, he's like, I would just want to leave, dude. I just want to leave this interview.
I just want out of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just need to walk out now. He just drops the mic and walks out.
No, but it was like
Um,
like not in LAN interview. It was just like, hey,
oh,
Stuart.
I would have left the call.
No, he's like, he wasn't able to leave the call. He's like, so I feel like I'm gonna get banned from SPL.
uh,
Anyway, so
last set, Bolts versus Sleekness. Bolts 3-0'd him.
yeah,
Wasn't close.
yeah,
in any of the
it's
games.
balls. It's like one of the
It's
best
Bolts.
ones. It's like good team. I'm not gonna like this is it. It's Slickness, which was apparently it's SCC who never scrimmed.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was funny. How if you actually consider it, it is very impressive. How
Yeah, I think
they are most likely the best team in SEC.
Yeah.
Period.
It's wild. All right, so let's talk about Smite World Championships like predictions. Looking at the bracket here, we have match 1 is going to be Jade Dragons versus Solar Scarabs.
Yeah.
I think unless
Jade Dragons.
Scarabs have figured something out, I think it's going to be Jade Dragons. I want to say 3-1. I want to say the Scarabs take a game off.
I want to say also 3-1, but here's the thing, right? These are the two teams who have totally different play styles. Jade Dragons
Yeah.
like to run it down and finish in 20 minutes, while the Solar Scarabs like to take 40-minute games.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting.
So like either it's gonna end up in like 40-minute games, or it's gonna be a 25 to 30-minute.
And then one of those two teams, we'll assume the Jade Dragons, will face the Tartarus Titans.
I will get that.
I have a very weird feeling about these semifinals because these teams in semifinals that have already made it, the Titans and the Kings, have not played in a playoff or qualifier match. Or I guess they didn't play in qualifiers, so which means they haven't had to play at unless it's scrims in like a month.
I mean, we don't
month and a
know,
half.
to be honest. We don't know because they do scrim outside of.
I mean, I'm saying they do scrim, but that's not to the level of like being eliminated at Worlds.
I mean, yeah, but who knows? Like,
So,
you don't know
like-
if they're actually. Who knows?
I'm just saying it makes me worried for the semifinal teams that already qualified because I feel you get an advantage by playing and getting a feel for what you want to do at Worlds. And like, yeah, they have the advantage of being able to watch and figure out how they want to counter draft you. But I think being able to play in a comp setting and win a match gives you so much confidence.
Also, I just want to point out something. Jade Dragons. When we saw them as Ghost Gaming, right? It was Ghost. In the last Worlds. This is where Final K pulled out the set solo meta. So we either are gonna see Final K make another meta, or someone's gonna make another meta in solo or in another role.
So, do you think between Titans and Dragons, who do you think wins? I
say Titans too, but the same because I feel like the Titans are like maybe if you put them against Camelot Kings, maybe the Jade Dragons will win. But like Titans and Dragons are like the close. And probably it's gonna be one of those like whoever wins that definitely has like the best shot at Worlds.
Yeah, I think that set goes 5
Yeah.
games.
That set's gonna be probably the most entertaining one.
I don't think so. I think Bolt's Leviathan.
Oh yeah,
is gonna
that's
be the
also.
most
Those,
entertaining.
I want to say Titans
I
and
think
J Dragons if that's the case, and also Bolts and Leviathans. So we're gonna have like a very good
like
game.
I think Bolt's Leviathans goes 5 games, and I don't know who wins. Like I'm a Bolts fan, so I
I
want the
also
Bolts
want
to
the
win. But
Leviathans
I
fans.
and I know you're a Leviathan fan, so you want Leviathans to win. But I legitimately don't know who wins
Me
that
neither.
set.
I will. If
I can tell you this: I think whoever wins that set beats the Kings.
oh yeah, if it's actually if you really think about it, maybe not considering that the Kings have won games against both those teams.
I think the Kings were able to build good momentum at Phase 3 playoffs, and them not getting to play until semifinals will be a detriment to them.
Probably, I would say yeah, probably.
Because I feel like they're a more momentum-based team, and they're good. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Like I think everybody.
Come
in
on,
the
you
World
have
qualifiers
Harry
or
you
Worlds is
had
good.
Harry Variety coming.
Yeah, I'm saying I will say I think this is the most competitive year of Smite we've had. Like in the sense of like the level of competition and where it's at. I think it's the best we've had.
Yeah, I want to say this. If we make, here's how we make it even more competitive for next season. Have relegations and have like the bottom two. No,
Yep.
but even have it this. If the bottom 2 teams, right, have to play against the top 2 teams in SEC.
Yeah, that's how it used to be. Bring it
Yeah.
back. Make them play for their spot. That's what El Leon says, and I believe I agree with it. Like make it where you play for your spot.
So that way you actually do show that you do know like what you're doing. So like, because you can also give people like from the SEC some like spotlight to be like, hey, we are also good. Look at sleekness.
Yeah, it gives them an opportunity to become a pro
Yeah,
player.
not even that, dude. You just have like the opportunity to become a pro player and also have some like fame, you know, exposure to like, hey,
Yeah.
at least I know what I'm doing. And so from there, you can now make like maybe an SEC hybrid with SPL players and be like, boom, go. Similar like how the Balks had an SEC player, Ice Ice. Like it
Yeah.
just kind of showed that even when you don't have an SPL experience, you can still play in SPL at those levels as an SEC player.
So, who do you think? Because I do. I think Titans are sitting in World
Yeah,
Or in
yeah. I'm saying
finals.
Titans finals. Period.
I think whoever wins between Bolts and Leviathans is on the other side.
Yeah.
I don't know who wins. I think part of me thinks Titans. I think Titans are just so good. I think they win in 4. But if Bolts are there, I'd like to see the Bolts win. If Leviathans are there, I'd rather see Leviathans win.
Yeah, the Leviathans
Like, I would
need
love
it.
to see
Leviathans
Leviathans
legit
get-
deserve. I'm gonna be honest. Like as shit as it sounds, obviously Bolts and Leviathans, they both of those 2 teams deserve world champion, regardless of who wins. Like
I mean, like I feel bad for the Dragons, dude. Like the Dragons have been like the second place finalist for like 2 years in a row. I mean, so it's one of those things. Like I'm gonna feel.
you
like,
also
it
have the
sucks seeing them
problem of
lose
like
again.
Leviathans also has Sabman.
Yeah.
So like
I do
Seven
think-
has the SWC key.
Yep. I'm just saying, like, I think whoever comes out of that set, I don't know, man. Like, the thing is, I want someone out of that set to win Worlds, whether it's
Same.
the Leviathans or Bolts.
Same.
But man, the Titans are going to be hard to beat because, like, what do you ban?
That's a fortress.
Like, they're all
it's
so
a
good.
fortress. Like it's just an impenetrable fortress. Like Leviathans legit have to have fucking Gilgamesh, Jaboja, Kamazaz, or Audio.
Like, it's just going to be insane, man. I don't know. Well, that's the other thing I was going to say. Do you think what do you think comes out at Worlds that people don't expect as far as gods go? Do you think there's going to be any crazy picks?
I'm gonna say Kamazaz is still gonna be one of those like around. Kamazaz is gonna be the character that everyone's gonna be contesting, right?
I think Kamazot's for sure. I think Paul will bust out some crazy mage we don't expect. I just don't know.
I wanna
who it's
feel
gonna
like
be.
it's gonna be either Scylla or it's gonna be the Hevo.
I thought about Hebo. I also think we might see a good bit of Agni.
Agni.
I
can
don't
see
want to
it.
see Scylla.
It's
don't
gonna
wanna
be
see
Scylla because it's literally the easiest. Like as shit as it sounds, Scylla is probably the most reliable damage dealer.
You think she's still that good?
Yes. Because
think
she's
she's okay.
okay. She's above average. Like it's kind of like Agni, where you can pick her and you don't feel bad about play. It's like the same. It's the
Right, right.
same
I think
thing.
she's like B
It's the same
tier.
thing with like combats. You don't feel bad picking him up. Same with
Yeah.
Zilla. You don't feel bad picking the Zilla. You also don't
I mean, I'd
feel
rather
bad
see
at playing
Scylla than
against.
Yanis.
Yeah, Janice is probably also
So
probably gonna be one of those potential picks. I'm gonna be honest.
I think Zeus will
Here's how
be.
it is, right? Long shot pick Horus.
Dude, I would love it. You know what I'd love? I'd love for the team that wins to have played Horus and Horus gets the SWC skin.
We need another skin that's not a mage.
Yeah. Also, I thought about, and it just slipped my mind. Who was it? I think we might see Medusa, dude.
Ooh.
I think we might see a good bit of Medusa. I think that buff is actually sick.
I think we're gonna see that on Panda Cat.
I think Panda Cat or Barracuda.
I think Barra's gonna be like, oh, so Soul's meta, right? Alright, Soul.
I mean, Barra loves Medusa.
And Soul. And Scotty.
And Soul. Yeah, well, he's not going to get to play Scotty because she is not.
Unless
she
he
is
goes
not
mad.
that caliber. Oh my god, dude! If he goes Scotty at Worlds and wins, give Scotty the SWC skin. I'm just saying.
But yeah, I do think that Scarabs, not Scarabs, the Jade Dragons, Final Cape, we know him for getting very weird picks like Grand Solo, Shankui. He was actually one of the, not one, he was the one person who started doing the Tusker solo.
Yep.
And that is,
And that's
and
Variety
does
that
that too, so.
I hope Variety does not play Rat at Worlds.
I do think, Jorncor's not gonna get anything weird. I don't think he will.
No, he's gonna play something. He's gonna play something he enjoys
Yeah.
playing, and that's comfort.
Yeah, because as we know, fucking John Corn plays like a madman whenever he gets his comfort picks. Like he knows what he does.
Yep.
So it's gonna be a monster. Haddix, I feel like he's gonna stick to his old aggressive solo laners where he's just gonna be being in your face on the squishies. I don't think mid in both of those teams are gonna like a mage. I don't think there's gonna be any mid weird pick between the Leviathans and Bolts. Maybe just the Titans and here's the thing, right? I feel like only the Titans and the Jade Dragons are the only two teams that are gonna pull out anything weird.
Yeah, I don't think Leviathans play like to their comfort, and like the Bolts, like I think we might see ESET support,
But that's about
but
it.
I don't think that's gonna. But that's about it. I don't think there's gonna be anything else weird. But I don't know. Like them busting out ESET support makes me feel like they have something else up their sleeves as far as like mage supports.
Nox, baby, but even then, I don't
Dude,
think.
hook me up with the give me the PBM Nox pick. Let's go.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I don't think like Awesome Jake is gonna be like, let me just pick Nox. I think that's gonna be.
Yeah, I think it's
gonna be PBM.
It's gonna be weird.
I think PBM is gonna like literally has to be either the Jade Dragons or the Titans.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so
Yeah.
too. All right, man. I don't have anything else to talk about with Worlds. We will have. So I'm gonna release this episode before Christmas. So Merry Christmas to
Merry
everybody.
Christmas, boys.
If you don't celebrate Christmas, I still hope you have a happy holidays and stay safe on New Year's. And then we should also have a regular episode coming up. And then I have a guest scheduled for January 1st. And I will be putting in the Discord a thing for questions for Majin Busha himself, the owner of AGL.
I cannot clap, but I am Drake clapping right now.
Hopefully nothing falls through on that. We set a date to record when I talked to him yesterday, so hopefully we're able to make that work and talk about the things coming to AGL and just sit down and talk.
They're gonna be recording right as soon as January 1st hits, by the way.
Yeah.
No, I seen like 12 a.m. It's midnight. The fireworks are going off, and they literally just started recording the podcast.
Yeah. That's what I want, dude. I want the fireworks in the background. Make it sound like it's a celebration. No, we're recording it. We're recording on the first at night. So that would be funny,
gonna be
though.
doing,
like, just during the whole conversation.
Oh, you know what?
You just hear
You know what?
fireworks
You know what you
popping
guys should do? Do like an IRL recording podcast outside, and you're like just shooting the fireworks.
I should just edit fireworks into that episode. Just randomly. That'd be kind of sick.
Oh, I want to give
anyways,
shoutouts to something though. I want to give shoutouts
Yeah.
to the solo laner I went today called Huge Testicles.
I'm glad you're having good matches. At least you're getting funny names. I'm not even getting funny names. I'm just getting the little crap into the stick. That's for another podcast episode, though.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my level 14 Afro at 25 minutes yesterday. That's what I have. Or actually, shout out to my Odin solo today that was level 19 at 35 minutes. Those are my 2 shout outs for right now, without getting into games and all that. But let's get on out of here.
Yeah. Peace.
Later.